In this video I meet up with Lauren for hours 15 and 16 of Lauren's driving journey. Done the emergency start. Stop. Brake, brake, brake. Clutch down. And stop. Brake, 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 brake. Handbrake on. First gear.
Slam on the brake.
Bit stampy.
Yeah.
So you know what to do next time then. Plenty of revs. Very good. Very good. In this video I meet up with Lauren for hours 15 and 16 of Lauren's driving journey. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see today, consider subscribing for weekly driving lesson videos. So Lauren, it's been a couple of weeks. Based on your last drive, is there anything, any snags or anything you'd want to be sorting out today?
Focus on the road more. I don't know, when I went to some junctions I was focusing on something else, so I did everything a bit late. Right,
so focus on where you're actually going, where you're actually positioning. How's about today we look at, I've done the emergency stop. We'll look at the emergency stop. Nice one, let's get to it. You're ready, drive on. And we'll be turning left at the end.
Is it all right?
Yeah, the engine's on. How would you know the engine's on without, if I weren't here for example?
You can feel it.
You can feel it, can't you? What about that rev needle? Where would that be if the engine was off?
Oh,
or if it stalled, yeah. Okay. To remind you. It's good there. Get a bit of revs on. What did the revs do to it then?
Didn't power it enough.
Wouldn't have been. When you put the revs on, you feel it become a bit smoother.
Yeah.
And we'll turn right at the end, please. No worries. Just testing, are you? Is there anything behind us that would have? No. Turn right. Do you know where I mean?
Yeah.
No worries, no worries. So, pop the clutch down, restart the engine, pop into first gear. That was the issue, that it was still in second. Everything you were doing was great, apart from that, alright? If you don't want to roll back, what would be, that's it, well done. Just take your time. They aren't moving or anything, they're being patient with us. Just check this, that's it, well done. So really, as soon as your clutch goes down, left hand reaches for is the best way to, you know, like you do your junctions, you won't forget your gear then.
Yeah.
Look both ways on approach, I'll be able to keep going. I'm not sure if you were going to, but we're getting a bit late and I thought, well, we could miss a chance here.
Yeah.
So get the head turn a little bit earlier and you'll spot them yourself. We're going to go ahead at the crossroads. So we'll position the most natural line, which on here, because of the angle, I think would be to the...
So
that's it. And what gear do you need? still clear. So it's that rainbow of observation, if you like. Left, forward, right forward, left. And as long as you keep that continuity, just pull up on the left for us, please. Steer right. A bit more. That's it. Cheers for that. Right. Did you feel the tyre just graze the curb? Did you feel it? I could feel it. If I hadn't have stopped you though, it would have been much worse. What were you focusing on a lot when parking then that really you didn't need to? No ideas.
The gear change.
Yeah. Did you need it?
Probably not.
What can you do instead? So that you haven't got to even move your hand off the steering wheel?
I'm not sure.
Nothing at all, just keep your clutch down on the floor.
Okay.
And then when you've stopped, then left hand off the steering wheel, handbrake on, neutral, once you've stopped. Otherwise you're creating unnecessary work for yourself, really. Don't need to do it. Also, I've rolled a little bit, potentially a little bit close to the junction as well. Do you remember how many metres we should be from the end of the junction?
10.
10, yeah. What do you reckon 10 would be? Do you know what a metre is? Roughly.
Yeah. Like 3 car?
I reckon something like that, yeah. So if our bonnet was behind this where we are now, possibly that would just be okay. The Crossroads, have we covered Crossroads yet as an extension of T-junctions?
No, I don't think so.
That might be a good thing to cover today as well, that might, you know. What I might do is change the plan slightly. You know, I said do a parking exercise. I might get you to pull up on the right, because then we can stay sort of over this end and get those things done. That might be quite good. It was quite a good chance to go at the beginning at that crossroad. Was there any reason you didn't?
Keep thinking I like have to stop. But like if it's clear and you can see, you can just carry on.
Yeah, definitely. And always try and do that where possible. If it's blatant, yeah, it's probably too good to be true. That's why you keep checking. Did you see what the car in front did?
No.
Take more time. I mean, at any junction, I would say always never miss that forward glance. So it's left, forward, right, right, forward, left, always. Because sometimes you can have cars turning in front of you, turning into the road next to you. And often people miss them because they're looking right and left, you know, when something's right in front of them. But at Crossroads, you'll spot, and that car flashed its light too.
Oh.
So that would have been useful to know that they was quite content in letting you go first. We presume the flash was for us, but we give it a second and make sure, you know, as we spoke about before, as we've talked about before, with meeting and that. Same goes here at Crossroads, because normally somebody will say, yeah, you go first. Normally, not always. So that would be good to look at in a little bit. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that needs covering, and then it'll help you later on with, you know, bigger crossroads and turning right at light controlled crossroads. Righto, I think now would be a good time to go over the emergency stop. Before we go over it, would you mind reversing us back to what you think would be 10 car lengths, 10 metres, please, from this junction? Just because we want people to be able to see, don't we, when they get to the end here, and if we're blocking it, they can't. Have you used reverse before? Sorry, that was... Yeah, I thought we'd done a little bit. Is there anything you want me to help you with? Or do you want me to talk you through it?
You start as normal, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you have to go into first or straight into reverse?
Straight into reverse. Okay. Yeah. What signal does it give? Any lights it throws on the back?
Oh, they're just like the reverse light?
That's it, yeah, white lights. So if somebody turns in the bottom, they know straight away what we're about to do, or what we might do. That's it. Now what I do, you know, with reversing, you don't want to go as quick as you would forwards, because you're looking over your shoulder and it's not going to be, you're not going to see as much basically. It feels like we're uphill going forward, would you agree?
Yeah.
So if we're downhill, So that means we've got to be downhill if we go backwards, therefore. So with your right foot, I'd squeeze the foot brake. I'd release the hand brake. Keep your right foot squoze though. So we're not going to move anywhere yet. Do you remember where you were looking when you were reversing last time?
Over.
Out the back window. So yeah, just back a little bit.
So I keep the clutch down.
For now. So when you come, once you've checked and you know it's safe, keep the clutch down. If the car rolls, fine. Don't forget that you might need to keep using the foot brake a little bit if it starts picking up speed. So just feather the foot brake, almost little tiny movements. Also, can you see the gap between the car and the curb in the mirror?
Yeah.
If you kept the car in a straight line, what would happen with the back tyre before we start?
Go into the car.
It would. So which way would you steer? That's it. You'd hold that until that gap there looks parallel again.
Okay.
As soon as it's parallel, what would you do with that steering wheel?
Straighten it.
Straight back, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Shall I guide you through, or did you want to give that a go?
If you guide me through.
Yeah, that's fine. So if you start observing from your right shoulder, making sure nothing's developing over there that could end up behind us in a moment, working your way through, centre mirror, road ahead, left mirror, left shoulder, body slightly twisted, probably hold the wheel at about 12 o'clock. That's it. Looking at that back and ease off the foot brake. Let's see if it rolls. Off it completely. Is it rolling? It is slightly. Keep your eye on this. As soon as that's parallel, just whip that steering wheel back straight. Lovely. Lovely stuff. And just hold that dead straight now and just reverse us back a little bit. Just let the car roll. If it doesn't roll, it might be a little lump behind the back tyres. So you'll be we'll make sure it's safe first, make sure nothing coming in our direction, and then we'd ease up on the clutch. If you're moving the car ever so gently and slowly, you don't necessarily have to have gas really. You can just do a little movement off the clutch and then just cover the brakes. We're going to use it again in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So just quick check around from your right shoulder again, working your way around to the direction of travel, over the left shoulder there, turning. So easing up on the clutch to the bite. It'll just make the wheels move a bit. Just make sure you're off the foot brake though. And clutch back down there. And that momentum, as long as you don't brake too much, should be absolutely fine. Bring it to a gentle stop. Gap still good in the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. So this would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's a bit better. Okay. So secure the car when you're ready. Cheers. Now, have you ever been involved in an accident or anything like that? No? Good. I'm glad to hear it. In terms of the exercise, we don't check the mirrors before we emergency stop. Why do you think that would be?
Like waste time. There's obviously something in front that if you don't do it quickly, you're just going to have an accident.
Yeah, every second counts. And that's not to say that the mirrors are not important. The real trick is always being up to date anyway and driving to the conditions. What kind of conditions might you be more likely to conduct an emergency stop?
Bends.
If you're too fast, yeah, you can't see around a corner, yeah. Here's a good example. Crossroads. We're driving down here. Who gives way here in front, by the way?
They give way to us.
Why is that?
Because we're like going and they have giveaway lines.
Exactly, yeah, we've got the paint and that. Who's to say that somebody might not see them lines, be looking too far in front, too far ahead for too long, and just drive straight through, or we'd be slamming the brakes on here, wouldn't we? We wouldn't see them till last second past that green hedge there. So it's literally you'd be on them brakes, and to be fair, at that point in time, you'd just be on the brakes regardless, wouldn't you? Be checking the mirror.
Yeah.
Be up to date all the time. Drive to the conditions. So if I was driving up to past this, I'd be in the mirror on the approach in case I need to slow, and I'd just ease off just ever so slightly. I wouldn't be slowing as though I'm going to stop or anything like that, but I'd just be anticipating danger, that's all. Schools, expect kids to run out, expect if one runs, expect the rest, or bikes, one crosses, expect the rest to cross, just having that anticipation. Now let's talk a little bit more about the actual stop itself. It's going to be brake firm and progressive. So you don't just want to press on it, slam on it like that. You want to be, I'll demonstrate with my pedal. My pedals are a little bit different to yours. The signal I will give you is stop. It'll be the same on the driving test as well, should you get it. It's 1 in 3 tests. 1 in 3 on the driving test. You don't necessarily always get it. So it'd be stop. So you push down till it stops. It should jolt you forward a bit when it stops, but what I'm not asking you to do is slam. If we slam, we could skid.
Okay.
And if we skid, we don't know where we're going to end up. We could lose control. There's such a thing as ABS. You've passed your theory. Congratulations. You're on it. Do you know what ABS means?
No, I think I read what it is, but I forgot.
No worries. It's anti-lock braking system, or you can remember it as allows braking and steering. How that works is if it almost pulses the brake on the wheel and allows the wheel to turn almost, so that it can't lock.
Yeah.
But it still can lock. So be aware. Or you could be in a car that's older that hasn't got ABS. I believe it was, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 2002 where it would become a mandatory safety feature. So if you get an older car, you would have to pump the brakes yourself rather than the brake automatically letting the wheel turn so it doesn't lock. I would advise you, when you get a car, test the brakes out and do a little emergency stop, see if everything feels right. You'll know from this how it'll feel. If you do try it on your own, what's the one key thing you need to know?
That it's clear everywhere.
Yeah, particularly behind you, because I wouldn't expect it. And so, same today, I will always check my mirror first to make sure it's safe, as would the examiner on a driving test. And I will look behind me to make sure that I haven't missed anything. And then the signal will be stop. Don't do anything until I give both signals. Okay, let's practice that now. Oh, by the way, it's going to be clutch just after.
Okay.
Why clutch after and not at the same time?
Like split second, you go a bit faster. It rolls.
You would. Exactly, you'd coast a little bit, you'd pick up speed. And also the clutch down eliminates engine braking, doesn't it? Which is, like you say, that's why you'd speed up, but it's because you eliminate the engine braking. So whilst you're braking, the engine's, because you're off the gas, the engine's invisibly slowing you as well. Clutch down eliminates that, so we don't want that. So it's going to be brake, 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 clutch down. So no messing with the clutch, bang, straight down.
Okay.
Okay.
So is that once the brake's all the way down?
If it goes all the way down, it'll mean you would have stopped and you would have missed it and you'd have stalled.
Okay.
Don't
so
worry.
Like just as you're about to.
Yeah, there'll be.
Hit the bottom.
Yeah, you'll feel it slow and you'll feel it begin to chug.
Yeah.
You don't really want it chugging much. Don't worry if it's slightly early on the clutch, as long as it's not at the same time it's after. The speed we're going to be practicing it at today is about 20-ish mile an hour, second/third gear. We'll try and keep it the same speed every time we practice for continuity and so that we know where we are with things. Shall we have a little practice of that now?
Yeah.
Just in terms of getting to the pedal in time. So if you cover the gas as though you just normal driving, and left foot in the normal driving position, wherever that would be for you when you're just, generally just driving along. I'm going to give that instruction. It's going to be a quick pivot and it's going to be firmly and progressively pressing down till it won't go anymore, but be ready with the clutch. So it's going to be brake, 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 clutch down. Ready?
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh,
Keep.
I did that first time.
That's all right. It's the first time. Keep pressing on that brake till it won't go down. You see, you had a bit more to go.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what this is about. You don't do it now, innit? Then do it 10 times on the move, and because it takes. Sometimes you get moving and cars keep joining you behind. So yeah, it can take a long time sometimes. So feet back in the normal driving position. Okay, and stop. Yeah, the brake, keep that firmness, keep coming, rather than a pause. Otherwise, what you'll do is, like a smoothish junction approach where you ease off again, kind of thing, if you're not careful. Good with the clutch. Let's come back off again. Let's try that once more. To right foot, that's it. And stop. Yeah. Yeah, okay. When you have stopped, it's important that you put the handbrake on. For practice purposes, it might be different if you're stopped and you have to move somewhere in a real life situation. For what we're going to do, it's important that we put the handbrake on so that if somebody hits us from behind, if somebody is lining the road and you've stopped, you don't want to then be shunted and then be crush them anyway or whatever. So handbrake on, and that keeps you secure while you set up. Just for the purposes of the practice, we'll then set up, prepare, observe, move, check left to right, you'll be in the middle of the road, won't you? Not in a parking position. So bear that in mind, because cyclists could come on the inside, and obviously things could pass on the right. And then just consider a signal. If you think that you being in the middle of in a driving position and being stopped, and then a car comes, if you think that that would confuse somebody, but you've not got time to move off, give a left signal, because it'll encourage them to pass you quicker. If you've got time, if you were where that UPS van is up there and somebody was here, you'd give a right signal, because you've got time to move off, but you just want them to know that you've seen them and that you're going to crack on. That's pretty much everything that I need to go over. Apart from, if you were to get into a skid and the back end of the car starts sliding outwards to the right, which way would you steer the steering wheel?
Right.
Yeah, why is that?
Like, it makes the front wheels go that way.
Into the skid?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do the opposite, steer left, you'll flip and do a 180. Not flip, but you'll skid and it'll just swing round. So yeah, I think that's it really. Any questions?
Does it not matter about the gears until like you stop?
No, same as anything when you stop, because your clutch is going down anyway.
Yeah.
It could be. It doesn't matter what gear it is.
Okay.
As long as you remember to select the correct one for moving off, so we don't stall. Oh, by the way, just going back to what you said earlier, if you did stall when you stop, it's not the end of the world. You're still going to stop, aren't you? As long as it doesn't jolt forward, that won't be good. All right, at this point, I can offer you a demonstration, or we can get straight into it and I'll guide you through it.
I think a demonstration.
Yeah? Happy to do that if you want to see it first, so you know what to sort of expect then. Okay. I'll give myself the signal, I'll say stop, and I'll check. Okay. If I have to keep saying to you, brake, 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 it means you're not braking hard enough.
Okay.
Okay. No signal needed. I'm going to do it in a minute, yeah? Stop. Brake, 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 clutch down. Handbrake on. First gear. Set up. Check round from right to left. Left to right. And I am going to give a signal. Car there and a car pulling out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, any questions?
Not sure. I think you did the clutch later than what I thought. So I think just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody says that. And it's surprising really the amount I braked and I still got it down quite late. And I think what helps with that is covering it, and also as soon as I connect with it, bang, straight to the floor. No messing, like literally. I think that helps. Okay. Swap over. So I might ask you to do it on this road before we get to the end. If we don't quite get up to speed, don't worry about it. There's lots of opportunities around here usually. So we'll drive on when you're ready. Road, so keep us in our own side though, yeah? A bit quicker, keep in our own side, and stop, brake, 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 brake. Okay, handbrake on, first gear, and set up as you usually would. So set the revs, find the bite, hand on the handbrake at the same time, checking from left shoulder, and working your way around to the right. No signal, I don't believe, is necessary. And at the end we'll turn right at the Crossroads here. I'm going to talk to you about the Crossroads in a little bit. Okay, both turning right, nobody's got priority here. I thought she might not have spotted that cyclist, you know, through looking at you. Yeah. And could you pull up on the left just after this lamppost but before that driveway? Good stuff. Don't bother with the gears, just clutch down. So you've got both hands then to adjust with the steering wheel and whatnot. It's good stuff there. Okay. So, do you want me to tell you, do you want to tell me how the stop went, or do you want me to tell you?
I did the clutch too early.
You did? I thought you might know.
I feel like I did it, like I slammed on the brakes.
Bit stampy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to, yeah, so you know what to do next time then, I'm guessing, from what you've said. Yeah. So firm and progressive, like, almost like this speed on the brake. Yeah. Clutch just at the end, so cover it but don't press it straight away. Now we need to cover Crossroads because they're around here all the time, and all it is really, they're an extension of T-junctions. So basically if there's nothing opposite you, treat it the same as a T-junction, but if not, we need to think about the priorities involved. Do you know anything about the priorities at Crossroads? You might have come across any bits on your theory, or...
I think if, like, say that a woman was turning left, no, if she was turning left,
yeah,
and we wanted to go right, she would have priority.
We'd be going opposite ways, wouldn't you, I guess? Do you want me to get a picture?
Yeah.
There's your crossroad.
So, like, this car wanted to turn that way, and this car did as well, this car would have priority.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why has this one got priority then?
Because it's closer.
It is closer. More importantly, this one here would have to cross your path. Would have to cross your path to get there as well. Both go in the same place, aren't you? Yeah. So it's who's crossing whose path, really. You know, when you turn right, like this car, same again there, isn't it? You've got to cross its path, so you normally give way if this is there, don't you? And this goes for, it's the same concept all over again. And I think that's, some people will say right of way. It's very, I think it's a confusing term. So we'll always deal with priorities and who's crossing whose path. So here's one for you. You're turning, this one's going straight on, let's say, and you're turning right. Who should go first? So you're turning right and it's going straight on because it hasn't got a signal on, for example.
Them.
Exactly, why?
Because you're crossing them.
You are crossing their path, aren't you? Now what about if you're both turning right though? You're turning right, it's turning right. If you both go at the same time, particularly a small one like that, you could hit. You wouldn't have both been able to go at that one, would you? It's quite tight with a blue van. What we're going to do? Who's got priority? Who's crossing whose path?
No one has priority.
Fantastic. So what clues to decide who's going to go first would you use?
Who looks more ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Car body language, if you like. If their wheels are rolling and you see their hand turning and they're looking with intent, they're probably a bit more prepared than we are, aren't they? They're probably going to go first. Makes sense. What about if somebody flashes? Yeah, go on.
You'd have to do a look everywhere again.
And where are we looking in terms of the observation? How would you, if I were your learner, where would you tell me to look at junctions?
Left and right and straight ahead.
Yeah. Left forward, right forward, left. Every time, yeah. Could be a drive-by opposite that you've got to clock, somebody reversing out. Good stuff. Same as if somebody waves, yeah? Perceive it as they're warning us of their presence and then we'll take it from there. That's it really. I just wanted to establish that with you just to make sure that, you know, you're thinking the right stuff at the crossroads. You know, we've talked about priorities here. What about this major road in the middle? Who has priority? The major road in the middle or these side roads?
The road in the middle.
Yeah. So what we've said only applies if there's nothing going on in the major road. Yeah. Of course, they always go first. We're right. As you said earlier, give way lines. Good stuff. How would you identify a crossroad so that you don't drive straight through and cause somebody to do an emergency stop?
you like see cars waiting.
Yeah, cars are a good one. I think when the curb's peeling as well,
Yeah.
you'll see 4 of them. Paint on the floor, that's one we said earlier. Houses at angles on the corners.
Oh yeah.
Things like that. Gaps in the houses, so I always think that's important to deal with the recognition side, because if it's alright knowing your stuff, but if you don't recognise something's there, you're not going to do it, are you? You'll be the best person in the world at it, but if you don't spot it, then it's not going to work. Slightly sidetracked with that. It's relevant for what we're doing as well and where we are. Are you good with what you need to do for the emergency stop next time?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on with that then. Drive on when you're ready. Just pause it there a bit, Lauren. What can you feel?
You can't remember.
Why is it rumbling, do you think?
The volume's too high.
Yeah. And also, I can't hear something else that's quite important.
The rev.
Yeah. So revs first is best, then look for that tug. And that's it. Once you get the tug, just freeze it, don't keep coming up. That's it. Move off, increase the revs as well. Otherwise, the ones you set are kind of gone as you start moving. I'll remind you about that on the next one. Keep your eye on that left door mirror, as well as the oncoming black car. Then the red car. The red car. So your eyes. You remember earlier you said you were looking sometimes at junctions one place too long. Same with that, and I think it's because there's a bend there as well, so you're looking round the bend. I'm not going to ask you to do it at the moment, it's a bit busy round here, we're on a bit of a bend and I want to make sure I know exactly what's behind us. So just drive as you normally would. Won't be asking you here, there's too much unpredictability here for me. When we get to the end, we'll turn right there please, at the end of the road. First gear while you're rolling. No worries. You okay with getting it sorted out, or do you want me to? Clutch in a bit rather than handbrake again. The bike's too high. Release the handbrake and we'll do everything else on the clutch. Just release it. Clutch up a millimetre. Freeze it right there. Don't move it. Set revs. Don't move that clutch though. Keep them revs, keep that noise the same for me. Look right and left, we're not quite at the lines, look. So lift the clutch up a millimetre and pop it down a millimetre. Now don't commit from here, we can't see enough. Do a series of that thing that you just did with your left foot, but keep the revs the same. Couple more of those. That's it. Last one, and after that, if it's still clear, away we go. Increase the gas, Lauren. Did you feel the car rumble a bit? When your clutch comes up, your right foot comes up as well. So we've got to press the right foot down a bit to add to that smoothness. What I'm going to do, I'm going to up the instruction a little bit on the approach to some of these junctions, okay? Because you're just forgetting to select your first gear, and that's having a bit of an impact on the timing and getting to the lines, etc. Is that alright with you? Just raised one. That's so we'll use that. We'll think of them as a raised one. I won't be asking you. These are going to turn out away by the looks of it, so I won't be asking you here. Keep her on the left curb also. Road on your left, just after this pedestrian. Sorry, not that one, that's a school entrance, just after the big hedge. So if you start preparing now, can you see it? So into second, clutch up, extra brake as you lift the clutch up, lots of steer, lots of steer, lots of steer. Turning right at the end. Whack the clutch straight down now and signal right. A bit more brake, first gear, all the way to the lines, looking both ways. Set the revs ready. Last look left. Keep the revs on. That was better. Don't keep steering on when you're coming out. Try and feel your way out in terms of where the car's pointing, and you might not need to put the extra half an hour steer on that you did. I come this way because I thought them cars would go down the main road, but they followed us. Turn right. So that's it. Just start to brake ever so gently. Clutch down straight into first. Keep a good grasp of the brakes, don't let it speed up. All the way to your lines. Looking both ways as you do it. Keep scanning. White mirror, white line underneath the mirror. That means your bonnet's level with the lines, but not over. Let it roll a bit before you commit, and be ready to set the feet as you do it, if that makes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plenty of revs when you do. Very good, very good. And the revs report, when you pull out from a junction like that, you need to be quite nifty. And if you try and lift the clutch to be nifty and you haven't got revs, you're more likely to stall, aren't you? So car behind could do. Could do. We're going to take the next road on the right. You see it? So start braking earlier. Get second gear done sooner with the clutch up. And just keep your feet there in case you need to make any more adjustments. Keep coming. The red car's got the speed bump. The blue one. Turn. Turn. Have a look so you know it was okay. Check your mirror, it'll only just pass now, see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was red, it was blue, but hopefully you knew what I meant. Yeah. Alright, I will ask you on this road, okay? There's nothing behind us. So remember those things that you told me. If I keep saying brake, you're not braking hard enough. Stop. Thank you. And next thing is to secure the car. And then into a particular gear. Alright, and then we're going to set up in the usual way, prepare, observe, move. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah.
By yourself?
Shall I?
Yeah, it's worth it. What made you ask that? These ones, yeah. Sorry, what made you ask that?
Because the car was like, it like might not know.
Yes, definitely, yeah. Could surprise you, couldn't it? If he thinks you're parked or whatever, it might do, you don't know. Alright, I'll catch your thoughts on that in a moment. I'll let you concentrate, because I also want to go over something else with you for today's conditions. this bit. I'm glad to see you're not just throwing yourself into it just because I said it, you know. Just cover them. If something comes, you'll be glad you did. For those watching, I mean brake and clutch. I call it feet in covering position. If you use the brake, you're going to need to use the clutch to follow. So yeah, if you can find us somewhere to pull over, it's alright, don't worry. It's just yeah, just follow it around the next bend and we'll have a look.